Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome back to Cornerstone, the show where we attempt to navigate our culture through a biblical lens. I'm your host, Shane Kai. I hope that you guys can actually hear me. I'm not sure. I'm relatively new to using these microphones, and using them in the car is also kind of difficult, but so sometime in the future, if I decide to use these again, I'll likely be a little bit better at using them and tuning the settings, but hopefully you guys can all hear me. If not, these are going to be some fun episodes. Anyway, I am finished with the wedding and the whole trip, and I am now driving home on Sunday, and I'm only about 2 hours away from home, but I wanted to record another episode for you guys. I only did one other before, so I want to get at least two. So today, I thought about this when I was driving on the way there. I thought about what other topic I wanted to bring up. Today I want to talk about friendship, and really, I'm speaking to the guys this episode. I want to talk about the importance of having one or more other men that you can confide in. I think it's really interesting how a lot of kids, not everyone, but a lot of kids nowadays are growing up with friends that they make online. Friends like Discord friends is something that I was very foreign to. Like the concept of just being friends with someone over Discord, that was, it's kind of a foreign concept to me, because while sure I do have Discord friends, I could not possibly imagine having those friends be my only friends. I'd go insane. You have to have in-person friends that you can talk to, that you can spend time with, that you can share with, and that you can confide in. It creates a sense of belonging. It feels like you belong somewhere. You feel like you feel like you have a role to play in this group of people that you have joined. You feel like what you have to say is actually worth something, because now all these other people who are around you are willing to take time to listen to what you have to say. And you also know for a fact, which is kind of an inverse of what I just said, you know for a fact that you can rely on other people to give you advice when you need it. And you know that when you have nothing to say, there's always going to be people around you who have something. So I want to give you a few examples. Like, I have a decent amount of friends. I don't think I have like hundreds. Obviously, I don't have hundreds and hundreds of friends, and that's kind of how I like it. I would rather have high quality friends over a large quantity, and that's pretty much what I have. I have my best friend in the world is Ben. You all know him from the Cool Kids Table channel. I grew up with Ben. We lived on the same street for the majority of our lives, not anymore, but he is someone that I have always been able to talk to and ask for advice, and I have, and I wouldn't say that he's somewhat necessarily like a role model. I think he used to be a role model for me when I was younger, but now that I'm older, I don't necessarily look up to Ben anymore. I kind of look up to him like we're kind of equals now. But when I was much younger, I definitely looked up to him. And then I have my second best friend, who is Nathan, and he's the guy who just got married. And and there are other people that I am really great friends with. Even if I don't say they're my best friend or my second best friend, it's not to say that they're not important to me. They are. You can't go through life. Men, you cannot go through life without having someone else next to you, without having a few other guys around you. The conversations that you have around the fire at night when all is quiet and the day is over, the conversations that you guys have it's incredible. It's so fun. It's amazing. It's very insightful too. And just knowing that you have people who have your back, knowing that you have people who care about you and care about your well-being, it's such a relief. It's such a relief to know that I'm not alone in this race. I'm not alone in this world. I have my guys. I have the men that I surround myself with. Now, something I've kind of learned recently is that the way you make friends is by, more often than not, having shared interests. Like, oh, I like video games, you like video games, cool, let's be friends. I like board games, you like board games, cool, let's be friends. I like camping, you like camping, cool, let's be friends, right? There's shared interests, right? That's how you kind of initiate a friendship. It kind of starts really simple. You're not going to get into anything super deep, insightful, and intelligent. You're not really going to get into that stuff right away. I mean, you might, but chances are you're not going to. Chances are your friendship with someone is going to start with something very simple. Just like, hey, I like this restaurant. I like this fast food place. Let's go after this group thing that we're going to, like after church or after our gym or whatever. Let's go here. Let's hang out for a little bit. And there's nothing wrong with that. Like that's good. That's absolutely good. You are setting kind of a good bridge. I wouldn't call it a foundation, and I'll get into that in a second. You're setting kind of a good bridge, a bridge for you to cross over into someone else's life and to kind of get to know them, find out who they are as a person, and just have some fun with them. And that's great. But what I've learned is that it's not healthy to have your friendship be like that for a long period of time. I know English is escaping me, but let me see if I can explain this in a more intelligent way. You can't have your friendship be explained simply as shared interests for that long. Okay? Shared interests are great when you're first getting to know someone. And again, I'm talking exclusively to the guys. I guess the girls too, but like separating, girls with girls and guys with guys. When you pair a girl and a guy together, then the friendship, there's a whole bunch of different factors that go into there. I'm not going to talk about that. I'm just talking about when girls are friends with girls and guys are friends with guys, right? Well, I guess I'm talking just with guys and guys because I know the guy mindset. That friendship's not going to survive. That friendship is not going to grow in a healthy way if after 6 months of being friends with them, the only thing you still know about them is that they like the same interests that you have, right? Again, common interests are great for getting to know someone, but once you get to know them, you have to take it a step further and you have to build a foundation. We built the bridge. The bridge helps us get to know each other. You cross over to my side, I cross over to your side. But now we need something to fall on, right? Because that bridge can fail. That bridge can break. Because all of a sudden one guy might go, you know what? I don't have time to play video games anymore. I guess I won't be seeing you online anymore. Or, I need to start saving my money a little bit more, and so I can't be going on these long camping trips with you. Or, I've actually been doing pretty well at the gym, and maybe I'm going to cut down a little bit and not go as extensively, so I'm not going to be going with you anymore. These things kind of happen all the time. We change interests constantly, and some of those changes aren't even our fault. They're just the life's fault. Like something just happens in life and we're forced to adapt. And if that's the only thing that your friendship was built on, that little flimsy bridge, then it's going to collapse. You might be able to hold it together for a little while, but it's going to collapse eventually. That's why you have to build a foundation underneath the bridge. You guys have to work together. Both of you have to work together. After you cross that bridge, you have to build a foundation underneath it. That way, if the bridge does collapse, you fall on that foundation and you still have something. It may not be much, but it's just enough to start again and to build again. So what do I mean by this? Well, then I'll give you an example. Nathan and I, for example. Nathan's my second best friend, I already said. Our common interests are we both love video games, we both love the beach, we both love running and swimming, we both love exerting physical activity, we both love climbing, we both love movies to various degrees. I'd argue I like movies more than he does, but that's besides the point. And then we both have a lot of the same childhood memories. Like he grew up watching the same TV shows that I did. He grew up playing with the same toys that I did. So we have nostalgia that we can both look upon. But if that's all our friendship was built on, honestly, I don't know if I would still be friends with him today. Because most of that stuff he doesn't do as much anymore. And neither do I, really. Sometimes, occasionally, we'll play video games together. As far as old TV shows, we don't watch them anymore. Neither one of us play with Legos anymore because we're too old. We don't have as much time to go to the beach if we want to. So it's just these different trips we want to go to, whether we want to go to a rock climbing place or whatever it is, we don't have time anymore. And when we do have time, it's like a really rare thing, right? So, like I said, if our friendship after, I've known him for about maybe 8 years, maybe a little bit more. If our friendship after 8 years was just built on those common interests, then I don't know if I'd be friends with him today. Because like I said earlier, he just got married. He's married now. If he didn't have time to do those things before, he's definitely not going to have time now. So I'd be out of a friend. But thankfully, that's not the case. Thankfully, Nathan and I are still friends to this day. We're great friends. I would argue we're better friends now than we ever were before. And that's all because we worked together to build a foundation underneath our common interests. And that foundation was, well, one, it was God. And, God the Father and Jesus. That was foundation piece number one. Number two, it was like a brotherhood. We expressed to each other just how much we cared about each other and our well-being and how we don't want to see each other hurt or fail. And so when one person is going through a tough time, it kind of affects the other person too. And so we're kind of lifting ourselves up out of it together. And, and really that's really all you need. I guess I could probably explain the foundation even further, but I feel like I don't need to. That's it. You got our love for God and our love for each other, You have to set that foundation and go, hey, we love God. And because we love God, because we have that connection and we really like each other, we're going to make this pact to say that we're going to stick through it all the way to the end. We're going to be friends all the way to the end. So, nowadays, when I, if I text him and say, hey, do you want to play Helldivers for an hour or whatever? and he says, no, I can't, I'm too tired from work, or I've got to get up early tomorrow, or no, I'm spending time with my wife now. It's just like, okay, fine, not a big deal. If that's all my friendship was built on with Nathan, I would feel a little hurt and I would feel betrayed because I feel like he'd be spending less time with me. But thankfully, I know better now. I know, okay, well, it's fine. That's what I'm trying to get at. Don't just cruise through life with your friends going, oh, we like video games and that's it. Talk to your friends. Be real with them. Be honest. Share your feelings with them and share your emotions with them, and both of you can grow together. And it just helps so much more when both of you believe in the same thing. It doesn't have to be Christianity, but if you both believe in the same thing, you can understand each other much more, and you can have a deeper. I don't know. It's hard to explain. You understand each other, and you understand how to help each other. So that would be my challenge. My challenge to you is, if you have friendships in your life that could be described in the way that I described before, where you're just kind of experiencing your common interests, my challenge to you would be, get to know them better and get serious with them. Sit down with them and just be honest with them once in a while and be like, hey, you know what? I've been friends with you for 3 years. Never really had a super real, honest conversation with you. I just want to sit down and just tell you that I like you, man. And I'm glad that you're still, I'm glad that we're friends. And just start there. Just a simple conversation like that. And I guarantee you, over time, you guys are going to grow together. You're going to become stronger together. And you're going to build a great friendship with one another. Anyway, it is very hot out right now. And I need to be paying attention to my thermostat in my car because I don't want my car to overheat. So I'm going to go ahead and put the phone away. I hope you all enjoyed this episode of Cornerstone. I will see you all next week. Next week. Next week will be the first episode with a special guest, unless they cancel, but I'm pretty sure they won't. So I'll see you all then. Have a blessed week. Bye. Oh, and pray that I make it home safely, because this thermostat thing is really messing me up. All right, see you later.